Welcome to the post-mortem for Fabula Ultima. First of all, in general, how did it feel? Because it is a very different system. Simon comes from GURPS first rather than D&D, but the rest of us, our first contact point, I think, was Dungeons and Dragons. And Fabula Ultima is very different.
I'd say it's not that different from D&D. It has quite a few similarities. The main difference is that in the combat, in Fabula Ultima, you don't have this kind of physical positioning on a map or without a map. It's just one combat, like in a Final Fantasy game. You have like enemies on one side, players on the other side, and they just use their abilities tactically. That's the whole point of this.
Yeah, in some sense, I did feel that it was kind of more easy and maybe more interesting to combo abilities because of the way that the combat works, where like your side takes a turn, the enemy side takes a turn, your side takes a turn, but you don't have like these set initiatives. You can just decide that, this turn I will go, next turn you go with this ability, or the other way around. Whereas in something a bit more rigid as D&D, you are very much stuck to the initiative order that you get in the beginning, unless you have some very specific systems in place to mess around with that. So we got to level 20.
Yeah.
And I think I went like full hog on 2 classes. I should not have used that euphemism, but basically went full in for Fury and Weapon Master. But I think you guys, Willow and Anna, you took more than 2 classes, no?
Yeah.
I don't remember anymore.
I was Wayfarer, I was Sharpshooter, and I was the Rogue character, I think Thief.
No, it was
Rogue.
Yes.
It was a Rogue.
Yeah.
Rouge.
So I think you were Spiritist,
and
Sharpshooter,
Elementalist.
and Elementalist.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how did it feel? We sped up the experience system quite a lot. I think we ended up boosting it 4 times
At
even.
least 4 times.
Yeah. Well, because we wanted to kind of not play one system for 2 years. But it is very much built for longer campaigns. So, but how did the progression system feel for you guys?
They're gonna hear all those.
Okay. I'll take my shoes off so they don't make.
No, you should just stop doing this thing.
I should.
and post the pics later on.
On Feet Finder.
What?
Yeah. It's there's a web page or a forum called Feet Finder.
I feel like we're getting off track.
No, tell us about it.
I've heard tales. I've never visited, I swear.
So he says.
But yeah, jokes aside, how did the progression feel? Because for me, personally, I kind of felt like from level to level, if you were to go by maybe 1 level per session gives you some sort of like more of a progress. But in general, this like getting 1 level in Fabula Ultima was kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah, it was just baby steps, one at a time. Mm-hmm. I really liked the sped up version that we did. Like several levels, and really helped push the actual sort of build we got together at the end.
No, I found it like it was fun in the beginning, but got like overwhelming and annoying later. In the sense that like since we were doing like speed up way, what happened is in terms of role playing, there wasn't really a situation where like my character would acquire the like or think about getting the skills or whatever, like in terms of the in-game world, but like you have to choose them because you have to level up. And then like at some point I was like, okay, I have these 3 classes and like I don't care about any other skills or like abilities that they have there, but like it also doesn't make sense for my character to have any other classes or abilities. So like I just was like, okay, I have to level up, so I was just like randomly picking some stuff because
the system kind of forces you to generalize, to get several classes. If you go to level 50, which is the max level, then each class can only have up to 10 levels in it, so you will have at least 5 classes if you go to max.
And up to 8, I think.
Up to 8
or
or 7,
7,
something like that.
yeah.
Anyway, many classes you end up with this a character with lots of different abilities, but none of them are too strong on their own, which is very different from that's another big difference, I think, to D&D, because there you usually end up stronger if you just do one class, and here you can't.
Yeah, I was actually kind of disappointed by the what were they called, like heroic skills, or what you get at level 10 if you complete a class essentially. But yeah, I guess at the end of the day it is very much like JRPGs. You have this super gradual improvement. But actually, to kind of come back to Anna's point about how there didn't seem to be any like good reason character-wise to take classes, we tend to focus on mechanics a lot because of who we are. But did you feel like this system helped you or guided you to actually roleplay your characters?
There's very little of that, I think.
Yeah, well, I think it's because we were doing like kind of a sped up campaign. Because, well, again, you can like play for years. It's that we were mostly like just going from one scene, like from one combat scene to the other combat scene.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The system itself has these bonds mechanic, which is supposed to aid this kind of thing, to have some role-playing interactions, and which give you actual in-game benefits. But again, I think it kind of comes down to, well, the way I structured the campaign, that there wasn't really that much opportunity to explore them, and just our general personalities, that we only look at the mechanical advantage of these things.
Well, we also skipped like parts of the mechanics, which were like the travel.
True, we did skip the travel mechanics. But actually, what was kind of interesting is that Fabula Ultima in some ways forces you to roleplay if you want to use your Fabula points. Like if you want to re-roll, you have to come up with a semi-reasonable reason to base it on your origin or your identity or your theme or your bonds. Well, for bonds you just get like plus whatever, but I feel like that was kind of an interesting mechanic. It did make you think about the reasons why your character, for example, when we were fighting Gadames near the end of the first session or like second episode, I think, I had to re-roll once or twice, and so it did make sense for Cassius to kind of this is what he's been working toward his whole life, so he draws on this his identity as this retired athlete or his theme of belonging or something like that. It kind of forced me to think about that.
But again, this mechanic or this rule is exactly as strong as you're willing to put into it. So if you're willing to do that, look for a role-playing reason to have these bonuses, then it's going to work. But I guess some players just don't. They just want the reroll and they don't care about the roleplay behind it. Not pointing any fingers.
I think the travel mechanics were would have been like a great opportunity for us to create some more like these bond mechanics and lore wise as well. And skipping those might have been like a kind of a misstep in that way. But in general, I think like timing wise, I think it was a good idea to skip them.
Well, from what people are saying about the system, people usually say that it very well gives you this feeling of playing a JRPG. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it does. It's very much this give and take or push and pull of a turn-based battle system. I personally really dislike not having any positioning. It doesn't even make a difference whether you're doing ranged or melee attacks, or there's like this minimal difference, right? If the enemy isn't flying, it makes no difference, and that's just something that for some reason does not compute in my brain. I want my grids, I want my rulers to measure inches, but for the purpose of giving a feeling of playing a JRPG, I do think it helped a lot, or it worked in the intended way.
Well, the cool thing was the second phase of the villains.
Yeah, actually, that was a very cool mechanic.
Well, that's not actually a mechanic in the game.
Oh, it's not?
Not really. I mean, you can do it. You don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought that it was.
I feel like that's definitely not a unique mechanic to this system as well. You can kind of integrate it into any sort of.
Well,
RPG.
you can, yeah. It's just like how to say. I thought that it was because it sounds exactly like, oh yeah, that's what JRPG would have.
Yeah, it plays into the genre
Yeah.
tropes essentially.
Absolutely fits. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I really liked the dynamic turn order though. Yeah, I think it was incredibly conducive to teamwork.
Although I don't think you ever really changed your order.
Sure, we did.
We did.
did.
We had a couple of times. I listened back onto the episodes, and we had very many moments where we even if we didn't end up changing the turn order, what we did was like, do you want to go first? Do you want to heal, or are you gonna be able to take another hit and so on? There was still this
You had the option.
tactical discussion about it, whether it actually happened or not.
Yeah, and Salvatore still died.
Yes.
I have forgotten about this part.
Is it because he's a Gronkoid?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
In the final boss fight, Salvatore died.
So did Adamus.
Sacrificed.
Yes.
So did Adamus.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't listened
Both
back
Gronkoids.
to those.
Yeah. As I noted as well at the very tail end of the.
Which brings us to the GMing side of this, and how difficult the encounters are. So, the way this book helps, or the way it says to create encounters or create enemies, there is only one kind of statistic which determines the strength of the enemy, and it's the number of skills that they get. And the higher the level of the enemy, the more skills they get. But the thing is that the skills, there's like a list of example skills here. You can kind of make a copy your own, but even the example ones aren't all the same strength.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of up to the GM to balance it out somehow. And I did try to pick stuff that wasn't all incredibly strong. I did try to balance out, but obviously, as I already said during the session itself, I thought the final boss fight was going to be easier than the others. But it turned out not that way. So
Rip Salvatore.
yes.
R.I.P. Sweet Prince.
And the thing with the skills is that, for example, getting 2 spells is one skill. So if you want, say, to fill out 3 skills, that you can get 6 spells, but you can still only do one thing per turn, right?
Yeah.
So you have more options, but you're not more powerful with 6 spells than you are with 2 spells. But on the other hand, for example, you can get +3 to all defenses, which is a skill, and you can get +4 to all attacks, which is a skill.
Yeah, that's wildly better for
Yeah.
if you have only one turn. Yeah.
Exactly. So you can just load up on those if you want a really powerful enemy. As I said, I didn't do that. I did it when it made sense. For example, Adamus's first form with the armor had defense bonus, but then he lost that on the second phase, and so on.
Yeah. But so the system itself doesn't facilitate this phases thing that you did with the bosses.
It does mention it, that you can do it,
Okay.
but there's no specific mechanic for it. I just had 2 separate NPCs made.
Oh, okay. Because I got the different impression. I got the impression that there was some sort of specific mechanic for it.
There is a mechanic for the crisis when someone gets to half HP. Then, again, there's nothing too specific. Again, there are skills which you can say that activates when in crisis, and then the book says that those skills can be slightly more powerful because they aren't always active.
Yeah. Oh, actually, it's another thing that I would say different from a lot of the RPG books that I've read is that this game assumes that you do world creation together.
Yeah.
You come up with basically the whole world and in some ways even the plot line you kind of collaboratively come up with. How did you guys feel about that?
That was great. I really loved it. I think it might be a bit better with smaller groups because it's...
Are you drawing on experience from our other Fabula Ultima?
Possibly.
Let's just say that people are different, and not everyone likes this sort of thing.
Well, yeah, but also that the more people you have, the more, well, it's going to take like that much more time, that much more variety. It's going to mix things up to an absolutely confusing level. And it's best played, I think, with like 3-4.
Honestly, even with us 3, or 4 together with William, we, as you can hear in the world creation episode, we did come up with a lot of ideas which ended up not being used, just because I couldn't really fit all of it into a cohesive story in such a short time.
Yeah, but even then, it still was a part of the world.
In theory, yes.
Yeah, in the sense that Cassius was from Areno, even if Areno never came up as a place we went to, or any other character was from there.
I love the Grand Olympics.
The Grow Olympics were an inspired idea.
No, yeah, I find that this whole like setup of the game, that you can create your own world, like you sit down with like other players and brainstorm, that can, as Vilo mentioned, go two ways, like either be extremely fun or a catastrophe. But overall, I think it's a very nice and different from what usually happens, where like basically all the creative force have to be put on the GM.
Yeah, that is a very good point.
And well, some people like it that way.
Oh, yeah.
Some GMs don't really want to share this power.
Yeah.
And some players don't want to kind of interfere with the world. But you can... this world creation isn't really tied to the system in any way. You can do that for any game.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I'm just trying to approach it from the way of like, if I bought this book and started reading it from cover to cover. Well, I did buy this book actually, but and read it from cover to cover. What would I get from it? How would I start setting up the game?
Yeah, basically you can say it about like any RPG and every mechanic. That's like, oh, you can do it like with any RPG or like any TTRPG. It's I guess the point is that like, okay, what's like offered in the book, like how to approach it.
Yeah, for sure.
Developer intended experience, trademark. Any closing thoughts or any other ideas about how it was to play Fabula Ultima? Well, okay, let's start with this. Would you, if someone approached you again, exactly,
Not again.
With this idea that like, oh, I want to do a campaign of Fabula Ultima, come be a player, would you be interested?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we do have another game going.
Well, yeah, but you know, those started almost concurrently.
That's true. The other one actually started earlier.
Yeah.
Well, I would actually love to play it, because so far I've only GM'd.
I would say like, well, yeah, with another group we're like trying right now the longer campaign, and I want to see how that unfolds. But I definitely wouldn't do a shorter one again, like with this system.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It's meant for a long game, and it's I guess doesn't really work for a one shot too well.
It just like, again, like was just my experience, the amount of skills that I had to take, like by the end of it, was just overwhelming.
Yeah, it's better to be like sort of eased into the progress.
I would be interested in maybe GMing it at some point to try it out. But yeah, I think I can't like really put my finger on it. I think it really is to do with the lack of, not even map, but even this like narrative positioning, that you gain nothing from it. I think something about that just does not work like compute for me as a player. I can understand how it's much easier as a GM. You don't need to keep track of stuff.
I actually feel like this can be handled in the system. So one thing which we didn't really do almost at all was oppose checks. And it's actions in combat which are sort of free form.
Yeah.
You say that you want to do something, and then the enemy opposes you. You do some checks, and then you either fail or succeed. So this, I think, can be used to simulate positioning or do something along those lines.
I guess, yeah.
Say you say that, hey, I want to get like behind this guy, without him noticing or something, then maybe you do an opposed check, your stealth against his, I don't know, perception or something, and then if you succeed, then you get some kind of advantage.
But that brings into question like the melee and ranged weapons. If you use it like in D&D, that you actually get disadvantage with ranged weapons in close range, that's going to throw a wrench in a lot of builds as well.
That's true, yeah. That wouldn't work. So I don't know. It's a raw idea for now.
Yeah.
I think it can be done in some way. There's also clocks, which again is this free-form timing mechanic, which can be almost anything. We did have a couple of them during the game, but they never really went off.
Yeah, because I guess when you see a clock on the table, or for us, we had like dice.
Yeah.
You just at least we hyper focused on it to do whatever we needed to do before it went off. But yeah, for maybe dramatic purposes, it would have been nice to see how that changes the battlefield.
Well, it changed it in the way that you then hyper focused.
Oh, okay, yeah, I guess that's true.
Do it for science. Does anyone else have anything to add?
R.I.P. Salvatore and the Damas.
And Chompo?
No,
Chompo ran away, yeah.
Chompo lived.
Well, he lived, but he ran away.
Professor Chomp ran away.
Oh, actually, one thing which we haven't mentioned, I don't remember if we ever did that. Yeah, I think we did. Using Fabula points to create a new narrative element. This, I think, is kind of unique. I don't remember seeing this kind of thing anywhere else.
Didn't really use it as well.
I think you used it in the end to bring in Adamus.
Yes, we did actually. That we did.
Yeah. Right.
This brings me back to the point that I guess I needed some time to formulate this idea that I cannot put my finger on where Fabula Ultima lies for people who want tactical combat and for people who want like interesting narrative mechanics.
I think you should stop putting your fingers on things.
Yeah. I agree.
I'll try, but because like there are these interesting narrative things like you mentioned with it, you can use a Fabula point to bring in a new narrative element, but on the other hand there's not that much freedom or not that much like facilitation for these kinds of mechanics, at least not from the player side.
What do you mean? I think there's plenty. It's just I think our group is very much mechanics focused and very crunchy, and maybe we're just not used to doing this kind of stuff.
Might be.
No, like how to say, I think one other system, like we haven't played it here, had similar mechanics where like basically you can have this flashback that like you did something in the flashback and that like it in the future it changes like the outcome or something. But like here I think it was like quite some time ago when we played. I don't remember exactly, but when we were like discussing what we can do, it like basically how to say, you can't do anything that like could have like in the past that could like affect the current situation. You only have to work with what you have right now, like in here, like to bring in that element. You can't just say like, oh, suddenly I remember I have a gun or something along the lines. Yeah.
A
literal Chekhov's gun. Yeah.
The system we were talking about is Blaze in the Dark, or the one that we played is a variation on that called Scum and Villainy.
Yeah, Scum and Villainy.
Scum and Villainy, yeah. Hilarious.
He said come.
Heyo.
Let's move on.
Okay, I guess the conclusion is that we overall like it. Might be slightly better suited for a different type of group.
Yeah, probably.